Due to the recent update, the bunker used in my most popular solo base was patched. I set out to redesign my best solo base to not only fix it but improve it. It comes with more storage, 2 bunkers in the form of a foundation and vending machine bunker, and even a new oil refinery area, while maintaining the front airlock, which hosts a trading vendor, farm plot, and even a peek down area that watches door raid paths, while also offering the optional turret pod area. The base expands even easier than before, not requiring any wooden doorways, allowing for a more livable starter. The bunker is added shortly after, along with upgrades, and the front airlock area is then added. Then the base is simply finished off with the external features, and then solar panels are added. So let's get right into the tour. From the outside of the base, you will find that you have a vending machine that you can use for your trading. If you don't want to use this, you can replace this with a window. And then on the outside, we have spaces for your solar panels, depending on which direction the sun is on your server. So here we have an optional auto turret pod on the front of the base if you ever get one. This is completely optional, you don't have to have this. Then we enter the base through a simple single door airlock, and you'll notice that you actually have a double door that blocks raiders from going deep or any nakeds on the outside of the base. Here you'll also see a peek down from the inside of your core to watch for door raids, which is probably one of the most common raids for a base of this size. You'll find your engineering workbench, farm area if you want to add it, and a research table that we actually use as a ramp to enter our base, as well as the vending machine access. So let's go into the base. Here I've left all the garage doors open, but you can add all of these. And you'll see that this ramp here actually covers your head. You can actually remove this if you want to. As you can see, you get an extra peek outside, but people could camp here, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. Then we have a workbench area, electric furnaces, and then this shelf here that we can add some extra small boxes if you have the DLC. And then we have some large boxes at the back, and then we also have more storage here, and an optional refinery that we can add in the inside of the base. This will cause you to have to add these foundations here to support these walls. As you can see, there's no foundations here, but that's completely optional if you want to add this or not, or you can just repeat this same thing on this side here and add a bit more storage. And then we have these peek downs here, which can watch all the door raids. And then the bunker is right here. So what we do is we spawn on the inside of our bag, demolish this twig, and then we have this bunker here. This is one of the most simple bunkers, and I'm sure some of you have used this one before. And then we have our core circle area where we have our main loot room, our medium battery for our turrets or electric furnaces. And then we have a locker. You can replace this area with a bed. I'm pretty sure you can fit a bed here. I have checked it. And then we have a vending machine bunker that protects our TC. And then here is the upkeep of the 1 TC on the base. So in order to seal the bunker, all you want to do is hop out naked with a bit of metal or HQM. It depends what level all of your bunker is at. But if it's metal, you simply place twig here, a floor frame, and then upgrade to your sheet metal or HQM. And that will seal the bunker entirely. To start off the build, you want to claim your build spot by placing these 3 triangles. This will be your starter core, and your TC will be in this triangle here. So you can instantly wall this off. Make sure to add a double door, and then add the remaining walls, like so. And then you can seal it in with a wooden door or sheet metal door. For this stage, it will be replaced with a garage door later though. When we take our TC, you want to place it in the left-hand side like this, just to make sure that you can actually access it when you do place this double door frame here. You can then add a doorway just to protect your TC a little bit more early on into the wipe. This will be removed, and then you can add a vending machine bunker in front of this. Okay, so then you want to quickly expand and add your secondary loot room when you can. Now this will look a bit weird, but if you do want the extra space, I'd recommend doing this here. But you do not want to add a doorway here. The only way you can add a doorway here is if you upgrade to wood. I'd recommend just leaving it like this for now. And then you can add your second double door frame here. And then when you're ready to expand, you can simply place this foundation layout like this. You will eventually armor these, but at this stage you can just metal them. And then you can just leave this one stone permanently. And then you can add your bunker, which is simply done like this. Oh, you do not want to make sure you upgrade there. You can then upgrade like this, and this is your bunker. And you can check it works with twig first, like this. And you can just, from the inside, you can just demolish it here, or a teammate can demolish it. And that means it's working. So then, at this stage, you can then add 2 doorways here, wall in this area here. It might help placing this temporarily so you can stand on it. Like this. And then simply wall in the top. And then right now you can add garage doors like this. Or double doors. Probably better if you replace these and move the double doors to the front. And then you can add your garage doors here. And then add another one here just for added protection. Like this. And this is completely sealed as your little starter. You can then place a permanent foundation here, make sure it's square, so you can easily access the jump up. If this is too high, it depends on the terrain. And now we can add a shelf for extra loot. And then, you can actually keep this double door. It's just, you can't close it once you open it. So it's kind of pointless, so you might as well just take it off. Make sure you lock your TC, that's very key at this stage. And then you want to have the boxes. See the boxes here that I'm facing now? You have the 1 and 2 on the left and right. Rotate it once, and then you have the grill on the right hand side. And then you want to place it like this. You want to practice this on a build server. And you should have no gap in between, but you should be able to access the TC like this. Then once you've done this, you can go ahead and upgrade this foundation here to armored, this wall to armored, and then this roof to armored, just to protect the TC a bit more. And this can be metal, like this. And then we're just going to go ahead and upgrade the rest of the base. I actually recommend upgrading these 2 back triangles to HCO. Because they will be protected less. As you can see, this outside is protected less. Now, to expand, on this side, if you want to add a oil refinery, I do recommend placing these foundations. You can leave them twig for now, just so you can then expand off with these 2 foundations here. And then you can add your roofs just to increase the soft side raid cost. I don't think anyone's going to actually soft side it, because the walls actually get supported by the other walls here and here. So it won't actually gain any access to your base, but it's just a little bit more protection. And you can put a half wall, full wall, and then half wall. This just allows a bit more customizability and adding more floors at different levels instead of going outside and adding it. Just a little bit easier. And then you can go ahead, demolish these, but you might actually want it to jump out. So maybe just leave it like that. Upgrade all this to metal. Add a shelf. You can leave this stone. The top bit should be metal. Upgrade this one as well. And then add your window. You can add a temporary window, glass window like this. Add your single door. And then on this side you add a double door. It should eventually be metal. And this will also be armored eventually. Then you can go ahead and add your oil refinery. Like this. And that is a decent amount of expansion done. And then on this side, you want to add 2 load foundations, 2 full walls, which honeycomb this part here into the bunker. Add a half wall. And then same thing again, you want to place a half wall here, then a full wall, and then seal in the top like this. And at this stage, you can do 2 things. You can either seal it in here like this, and then place your level 2 workbench. That's what I recommend. Or if you want to, you can actually use this as a little furnace area like this with the triple furnace. So that is one option if you want to do that. But you can only do this if this isn't armored yet. Otherwise, it will prevent you placing this. So I do just recommend adding this straight away. And this can be left stone if you want, or metal. Depends what's on top of this, because if it's a level 3, you kind of want to protect it. And then you can always turn it into a loot room like this, if you want to as well. And then we will upgrade these 2 foundations to armored, just to increase the soft side raid cost. Then come outside and we'll add our airlock area. So you want to add a window here. Single door here if you want to have a vending machine. If not, put another window. These will also be armored. Not armored, I mean metal. And then a window here. And then at this stage, we can then add our 2 raised ramps like this, which protect our head. And then you can just replace this with a vertical embrasure like this to get your door peak. Add a double door that then opens outwards. And then a single door here. Window, window, vending machine. And then we can add our research table, but I actually would recommend taking off this double door when you're placing these deployables here. I'm going to place it like this so you can easily access the next level. You can only place the vending machine if you place it first before you place the planter. If you place the planter first and just leave this as a single door, it's quite awkward to place the vending machine, so I recommend doing it in this order. Can be a bit awkward placing this actually. There we are, that's perfect. And that's just the front porch area done, and then we can quickly expand and add our turret. Only add this once you've got a turret to actually place. It is a tiny bit more protection, I guess, if you want to have the chain link here. There we go. And then what we want to do is we want to then honeycomb the rest of the base. And we will do this now. You could have done this at an earlier stage. What's important is you don't add the honeycomb before you've added this ramp here, otherwise it won't let you place it when you have this ramp, this roof here. Okay, so make sure you do place this foundation and this ramp first before this roof. And on top you want a honeycomb. Feel free to add a bit of splash protection here if you want to. And then simply add the roof pieces. Like so. Now it's pretty much the base complete. And we'll run through some deployables. Of course, you want to place these in the direction that you need them to face for your server or wherever the sun is. And then, of course, add your double door back once you've placed all the deployables that opens outwards. Then what you want to do is add your bamboo shelf, if you have the DLC. Around about here. You can now pick it up, so it's not too much of an issue if you get it wrong. So you might want to have a bit lower than this actually. About here. Just so it's nice and flat when you jump up to access these boxes. Make sure you can jump in and out. Sometimes removing this box will help as well, jumping out. Sometimes you'll be able to place a barrel here. It might be the locker placement, but it could be the vending machine, so you can always try, but if not, you can place some small boxes. And then when placing the bags, make sure you place a half wall here, just to make sure it doesn't prevent you placing the half wall. And that is pretty much the base complete, I believe. Make sure you place all of these double doors with garage doors, and add one here that I didn't add. There we are. That is the base complete. Thank you very much for watching.